Guys, and welcome back to my ASL Teacher Rocks. Miss Summer here, and today we're just doing a very brief lesson on greetings, okay? If you've taken classes with us, then you know that we generally discuss greetings and introductions somewhere around level 1, weeks 1 or 2, I want to say. So if you haven't taken classes, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and you can get additional information when we're holding trial classes or get you registered for a one-on-one tutoring session. All right, so let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with good morning. Good morning is going to use 2 signs, and you're going to take your dominant hand, you're going to place it on your chin, as I'm doing right now, and you're going to take your non-dominant hand out in front of you, and you're going to bring this one into your palm. Good. Good. I'm going to turn to the side. Good. Now, some people confuse this with thank you. Thank you is one hand, but it is the same exact movement in the same hand shape. However, you don't use 2 hands. So, good, thank you. Okay? So, good. Then the next part for morning, you're going to take your non-dominant hand out in front of you, just like this. And you're going to take your dominant hand and you're going to raise it up. All right? So, morning. Think of your non-dominant hand as the horizon, and the sun rises in the morning. So your hand is coming up. So good morning. Good morning. Got it? All right. The next sign is going to be the sign for good afternoon. All right. So you're going to do the same movement for good. The difference is your hand is now going to be faced palm out. So we have morning, we have noon, which is straight up and down. If you think of a clock, 12 o'clock is at the top, noon. So anything afternoon, whether it's 12:03 or 12:45, it's not going to be straight up in the air. So now you're going to turn so that your palm is facing outward, and you're just going to pull it down slightly for afternoon. So good afternoon. Good afternoon. Now, let's say you want to go even further with good evening. Then you're going to take your hand, you're just going to pull it down a little bit more for good evening, all right? When we think of evening time, we think of somewhere around, I know I do, I think of around like 5, 6, or 7 o'clock in the evening. So, good evening, good evening, good evening. And lastly, we have good night. So again, that's that same movement for good, but the difference is now the sun has went down. So you're going to take your non-dominant hand out in front of you, and you're going to take this dominant hand and place it right over the top for night. So good night. Good night. So let's go back and review real quick. Are you ready? All right, get your hands loosened up, shake them out. All right, let's start with good. Dominant hand on your chin. Good. Bring this hand, put it right there in the crease of your arm, and bring the sun up for morning. So good morning, good afternoon, just a slight bend, good evening, and good night. All right? So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Have a good one, and stay tuned for my next video.